Hello everybody, this is Rolls the Gamer. Welcome to episode 43 of the Final Fantasy VIII playthrough. That's not good. That's not good at all. Yes, like other Final Fantasies before it, we are struck with a flood of monsters invading the planet here, and we're gonna have to deal with that shit. Except we don't really, we just attack the boss here who falls into it. I feel bad, I got like this is my second recording here. I got a great commentary that I was doing over this, you know, and I felt it was really going good. I was hitting a lot of good points. Then a phone call comes, I'm like, oh, I'll just pause it. But I didn't hit the pause. I hit like the cancel button instead, which is not cancel, but I like stopped the recording, then I didn't save it, and I just hit record again, and it picked up where I left off, saving nothing before it. And so we're going to do this again, and we're going to touch on the same points, because I do bullet lists, so everything will be fine. But here we are in space still, and we are trying to save Renoa, and all sorts of other things. Life support system less than 20 minutes. It's unfortunate, but it can't be helped. Well, at least had science guys coming with us. Squall's way more emotive here than he is, you know. I mean, he has been ever since Disc 3 kind of began. He's been kind of saying that he doesn't have to be the shut-off, you know, shut-off guy that he was before. So, he's got that going on. But here we go. We're all going to strap in and lift off, and she's going to take us to the... Eleni's going to take us to the past when we get through some of this really, really good-looking rendered animation here. I always love that scene where, you know, the wave of monsters just overtakes the space station. It's good stuff. Anyway, flashback number 1. You know, I always was curious in my first playthrough of how this kind of played out, like what Renoa and Irvine were doing while we were in that prison section that lasts a bit longer than we like it to. But here, that question is being answered. Basically, Irvine was contracted by Renoa's dad to get them out. He had sway since he was from Galbadia Garden during that whole attack on the sorceress plot, you know. But when he saved us all, when she brought him back and they saved us all, and all this stuff kind of happened. He's one of us renegades now, boy. So how's everybody doing? I finally got a good looking employment opportunity for these next few months. So I'm happy about that. Especially because it's a Monday, Friday, 8 hours a day type gig too, which is exceedingly rare for these warehouse jobs that I've kind of unfortunately been regulated to, since they don't ask shit, man, about what you're doing. It's like, have you been to jail? No. Are you sure? Yes. All right, we'll hire you. Here, I always like this scene too. It's pretty cute, just how Renoa acts with wanting to get the ring, and you know, I don't like him. Tee-hee. Tee-hee. But, you know, it's embarrassing. Say what? Come on, Zell. Pick up on the social cues, my man. Don't sweat her like that, bro. It is exactly what we think it is. Don't be all... Oh, drop the mic. Don't drop the mic! No, don't be all bashful about it now, Renoa. Hell, you were driving this relationship. Let's see where we're at now in the flashback. Ooh! Here's a juicy scene. What's that? It's scary. And here we get a little credence to the popular, now debunked, I believe, fan theory that Renoa becomes Sorceress Ultimecia in the future. How? Don't ask me that. I don't really remember how the transition happens. It's just like Squall dies and she's all mad and blah, blah, blah. It's not real. It's been confirmed fake. And there are some people that are like, oh, that was intended by the writers at first, but they changed their mind. And then you have other people, and these are all posts on forums, so take that for what it's worth. Other people saying, oh no, it wasn't intended to be that all along, it's just the narrative fits so well. And here we get to see our first glimpse of Ultimecia, and she has a pretty bitching design, and this is actually a little scary right here, what she does. Just the floating, you know what I mean, and the slow turn and slow move while the text comes up and she's transparent. It's very, very, well, it is a dream, but it's what we're seeing, but it's very dreamy, very, you know, very ethereal. Like, we can't do anything to fight this thing that's slowly creeping towards us. I like that. Little family moment between Squall and LNA. And it's worth saying what kind of power she has, because she's definitely not an established sorceress or anything like that. The nearest past, the closest present to the future. Now you're just cheating with your powers, but yeah, it's kind of, that's another mystery of the game where it's never really touched upon just what she is or what power she has. But meanwhile, out here in the cold recesses of space, we see Renoa's life support system dwindling low, as she's finally back in control of herself, but is it too late? You know? For what it's worth, I think this part of the game is done really, really well. It has a very cinematic pacing to it that, I mean, Final Fantasy games are pretty notorious for the power of their stories, except for a few exceptions. 13. But, I think, actually that story wasn't that bad now that I really think about it. But, it has a very, like I said, a very cinema feel to it, where it's, you're watching, well, let me just say, like Metal Gear Solid as well, Final Fantasy isn't afraid to make you put the controller down for a while. Because you're going to like this story. Metal Gear Solid 4, best movie of all time, that you occasionally play. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I watched it just as a movie the other day. That was a long experience, but worth it. That's a scary scene. Or unsettling would be a better word. Just to have that goodbye there, make that a computer wallpaper for a while, and see if people aren't telling you to call the suicide hotline. So here, I think what's going on is like LNA before, Squall's communicating mentally to her through her LNA's projection, you know, magic / ability. And, yeah, it's good stuff. It's just the framing device of this all happening in space, too. I wonder if it, like, were to happen, I don't know, like an underground facility or something. Maybe that would take away a little more of the craziness that you sometimes feel from this game. But some more great full motion video stuff there. And coming up, here's a scene that I've actually drawn personal inspiration from, kind of as a thing that I do. We'll see Renoa's necklace here with 2 rings on it. I too wear a necklace with 2 rings on it. It's not the ring of it's the two of my rings that I've had through various important moments of my life, like college graduation and all that kind of stuff. And my plan is, as other things start happening in my life, I will be taking them off. Like, I'll take one ring off, give it to somebody as like a memento, and I get a ring from them and put it on. So it's just like literally leaving something of mine with them as a sign of our meeting. Very RPG-ish, I know, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for stuff like that. It's a lot nicer than the the vacation photos or whatever else you want to do. I should say too, I wear this necklace pretty much all the time. Here, we're gonna kind of see what I'm talking about right here. And it's such a powerful scene, it's gonna be the thumbnail. But yeah. Rings on necklaces are cool. And I just have a regular ring that I wear here on my my right pinky as well. Now some of the necklace rings are those rings just put on my necklace, obviously, so. It's all how we do it. Accessorize, kids. I never noticed that little piece of plastic floating there before. Well, you see something new every day, I guess. Yep. So, any opinions on this mic so far? I really like it. But I have to amp the background music up a little bit more than usual. Because it's actually pretty powerful, all things considered. I'm holding it, 3 inches from my mouth, so it's not picking up the breathing. I am a heavy breather, I will say that. Actually just did a podcast with some of the boys, and that was addressed as a thing to look out for, which mostly happens when I slump over into the mic. But if I'm doing an hour, I'm holding it up, or even if I set it down on the table and just kind of hold myself far enough away from it. But I like holding it up and kind of here, so And we're gonna catch Renoa in space. I am not a fan of this part at all, really. Like, I think there's definitely a limit of quick time events, or it's not even that though. It's just a live actiony thing going on, with a counter and all that stuff. We've reached a limit for this game. This one wasn't necessary. The whole starting and then, like, escaping the prison, and I forget if that had a counter on it, actually. Here's what I know for sure. The fire cavern in the beginning, and I was thinking, I know what I was thinking of. Escaping the test area at the beginning as well, We didn't need this one here. It really bums me out, as a matter of fact. It's just, we had such a good, like I said, a good cinematic flow going on with what was happening here to Renoa in space and Squall talking to her, and it was lovely. But now we're like, okay, now you pick up the controller and do something. Because you're going to see that we go right back to just watching along, which is good if that's what you're doing. But I guess I complain too much because it's a really short thing and it's over now. So what are you gonna do? I like this exchange too. It's kind of Squall finally opening up to a conscious Renoa about his feelings and all that. And we see the monster stream from the moon is still pretty steady there. It's kind of disheartening. Here comes one of the absolute biggest, I wouldn't even call it a Deus Ex Machina. Like, there's a reason the ship here, the Ragnarok, is here, which is a great name, and I really like its design, too. And there's a sword in Final Fantasy XII, a late-game item that's based off of it, which is even cooler. But, so there's a reason why this ship is here, right? Like, it was used, one of the ships used to put Adele up here in space. So there's a reason it's here just kind of floating, orbiting the moon. But it's awfully fucking convenient that it just, in its orbital rotation, it just so happened to be right where Squall and Renoa are. That it has grippable edges. But, you know, you'll let it slide, because you got a bitching new airship out of the deal. And you get to clear out what I think are some really fun enemies here coming up here in a little bit. Probably not in this part, considering how short it is, but, you know. And I do like the slowness with which it takes to get in the ship and get everything going. You know, it's very well done, I think. Like I said, it's very movie-esque. I don't know if that actually works in space, by the way. I don't want to address it. Shout out to Casey and Lennon right now. They're at AGDQ. Those are hard letters to say back to back. Awesome games done quick. Speedrunning Expo, and we might have a really special guest on some projects coming up here. On a project coming up. That's all I'll say. But at the time of this recording, AGDQ of 2016 is going on. It is the 4th of January as I'm recording this. 5:02 in the PM on a Monday. Now give her some love. Let her love you, orphan boy. I already named an episode that, so I can't use it again. I don't know what I should call this one. I need to know I'm alive. Yeah, let's not celebrate yet. We have to land the goddamn thing first. Good point, Squall. Captain Bringdown is listing some sensible points right now, so let's pay attention to him. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to doing these 2 a week, you know. If at all possible. Just enjoying that. Here. Unjunction everybody else. And set up the set up just things as they need to be set up, I suppose is the way to say it. Alright. Menu management, the necessity of every Final Fantasy. No, but we're setting up because there are some monsters in here that are very, very cool, I think. Some of my favorites in the game. Kind of little sub-bosses. You fight one at a time, and you have to fight them in a specific order, and you can. I think Squall will be good enough to just kind of mow them down, but we'll see. Up here, there's always seems to be like Odin comes in a few times, and there are some other shenanigans that go on in these fights. Renoa's only level 11. That could be an issue. But we'll find out next time on the Final Fantasy VIII playthrough. Until then, I'm Rolls the Gamer saying take it easy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.